Alrighty. Okay, well, hello everyone and welcome. We're just kind of doing this wing on the fly presentation. It's actually just kind of organically came together, but just to give people an understanding of the topic is about energy movement, and we're going to talk a little bit about mudras, and then the main part of this webinar is Tami is gracious enough to give us a lesson on how to open vortexes and spin Merkabas. So we'll define those terms and give you a better understanding of it, but I just want to lay the outline of what we're going to cover, and we're going to cover it with an hour. And don't worry if you want notes, we're going to record this, so you can always watch the recording if you want any notes. But do you want to say anything to start, Tami, or you want me to dive right on?
Well, it's going to be. I've got a document. I'm going to put the document up. But I can also email it to Darryl, and he can send it out to anyone. Because some of it is complicated, but it's actually easy once you do it. So.
Right. And everything that's complicated is fun.
Yes, so. It's actually fun once you spin your Merkaba and learn how to use energy. It's actually just a thought. So I'll let you go ahead with okay. The document is in 3 different steps. One is light language, one is opening vortexes, and then one is the Merkaba.
Okay. Well, to begin with, let's start with the beginning. So the beginning is everything is consciousness, right? That's how everything started, with consciousness. From consciousness, you have a vibration that's sent out. And then once that vibration has a pattern, it turns into a frequency. And then those frequencies sprout out into sounds or light and other kind of possibilities from that vibration. And then from sound to light actually at a certain point transmute into physical matter. And that's how we get our existence and everything we see. It's really energy, it's really light, but in the 3D world that we're living in, it's solid matter. But again, everything is vibration, everything is light, everything is energy, and it all comes from consciousness. So now we're going to just specialize in terms of, okay, while we're in this physical world where there are solid things, what can we do with our body to call energy in, and how to manipulate energy? Because everything, including our body, including this table, everything around us is nothing but energy. And if you think about it, it's nothing but air, because when they teach you the molecules in science class, what they don't teach you is they teach you like the neutrons and the protons that go around it. We've all seen the picture in our science books, but they don't tell you in the science books is that if you were to really understand that atom, you would imagine the neutron like the size of a little car, and then the protons that circle it is like the size of a tennis ball. But what they don't show you in the textbook is that tennis ball is circling that car around the orbit of Nebraska, meaning that it is nothing but space there. The picture shows it like but really all you're seeing in that picture is nothing but air, because it's all air. It's all air, and not only that, but the neutrons and the protons are all air too. So when you can consolidate all the matter in the universe, it's probably like this big. So there's nothing around us but energy. There's really nothing solid. It's all consciousness. So what we're doing here is that we're knowing that, okay, we're in the physical world, it seems solid and stuff like that, and we have a body. Well, it's all energy, and there are certain things that we can do when we're in our physical body to move that energy around and to play with it. So one of the things that we're going to quickly talk about is mudras. Mudras is a form of just understanding what I just said and just having fun and playing with it, because you can call energy to you Think of it like an antenna. Energy is all around you, but then you have the physical, body. You can call energy to you. You can manipulate it because everything is air and your consciousness. So it's documented that, and if any of you guys have read any of Paul Sillick's books or seen any of Paul, he's a famous channeler. He says one of his easiest ways for people to understand mudras, and his example is that if you can actually call in high vibrating thoughts or low vibrating thoughts. If, for example, if you go, I am a horrible person, you will find that that is a low vibration thought, and you will find that your hands are heavy. But if you say, I am love, I love people, and have really high vibrational thought, you'll find that your hands are actually lighter because you're calling in high vibration thoughts, and that physically makes your hands lighter. I mean, when you have time, try it out. But I tested it out, and it's true. If you call in low vibration, you'll find that your hands actually feel heavy. Versus if you say, I am love, I love peace, you find that your hands get lighter. So that is an example of mudra and calling it in. Now, I'm also going to call your attention to mudras that are documented in the ancient Vedic texts. So, like history is beyond our Western civilization. And you know that our Western civilization has only taught us a little bit of what's really real. So the ancient Vedics, and so this is documented throughout the centuries, they have documented certain hand positions call energy into you. And you'll find that you've seen this in Western culture, even though you don't really see it, because I'll give you an example. There are certain things, positions that you can do in your hand that have documented response. So one mudra, and this is enlightenment mudra, is that you put all your fingers together and you put your 2 index fingers together and you connect your thumb. This is the mudra of enlightenment. This is like an antenna that connects your mind, body, spirit to the outside world. Think of it like you're creating a pyramid, and that pyramid is connecting like that, and you're shooting the energy out. So that is actually formally, it's written in books for centuries and centuries. It's called the mudra of enlightenment. So you will see some monks throughout the century, they're sitting and they're meditating in a position like this, and that's called the mudra of enlightenment. There are other mudras that are documented. For example, let's see. Oh, to open your third eye, right? Because we all want spiritual gifts. This is the mudra to operate your third eye. So it's similar to it, but you're putting the 2 fingers on the end together, and your middle fingers are connecting, and then your outside fingers are connecting like that. So that is the mudra to open your third eye. And then if you want the mudra to have visions and of what steps to take next, so you just want inspiration about how to proceed and take action. This one's kind of cool. This one is, let's see, it's the vision one. So it's like you're creating a big bird, a bird that has high vision, and when you do that, that just like gives you some inspiration to get some high vision thoughts channeled into your body. And there are also individual hand mudras. Oh, so this one is, I'm sure you're all common with. It's like you put all your fingers together, and you've actually seen like Steve Jobs, when he's sitting in the meeting, he's like this. You see some politicians, they sit in the meeting with their hands like this. And it's because they're getting a download of their knowledge and divinity. So it's kind of, if you're sitting in a meeting and you just want good knowledge and thought, that's why people like do that sometimes. I mean, you see them, but you don't realize what they're doing. They're doing a mudra. And it's what's connect you to higher thoughts. Now, also one hand thing, so those are examples that you use two hands, but commonly, another thing that people do is use one hand. So you think of your thumb as your inner self, and these also corresponds to different parts of your body. So like this is like for health, the hand for health, and then this is like the one for connecting your inner self to your body for good performance. And there's some like this for power, but they all do different things. So the various different hand mudras are different purposes, but I just want to illustrate that there are mudras that use both hands, but there are mudras that use just one hand. And it's documented that whether or not it's the thumb connecting to this finger. And again, this is documented for centuries in the Vedic text, and so it kind of has the test of time to say that, we're not making something up, in that whole cultures have like studied this for centuries. We just don't know about it in the Western civilization, but it's documented. Which I'm going to now lead us into our new discussion of, what I really found fun is that you guys are knowledgeable that we're downloading galactic languages. There are different galactic languages. And if any of you guys have participated in Joshua's activation, it's really about angelic language and galactic language, and it's all coming down in different forms and stuff like that. But what you guys don't see, unless you're physically there, is that Crystal is in the background and she's doing the hand languages. She is actually sprinkling codes while in the background while we're doing it. She's starting to speak language now, but all the previous activations, at least when I was there and she's in the background, she's doing amazing things with her hand. And the fact is that that's just another way of downloading language, downloading information. And just like if you get the inspiration to say a weird galactic language, you will also get inspiration to just do things with your hands, because your inner self knows the language and it just wants you to express it. So if you get the inspiration to download codes, even though it's like a galactic language, you don't know what the hell you're saying. You don't know if you're making it up, but you feel like a little incentive to do it. And that's because your inner self knows the language and it wants you to practice it. So I noticed other people in the group doing it, and I can sense the energy that when they're doing it. And then I started to get the inspiration of doing it. And at first I didn't know what I was doing, but it feels good. It actually feels good, because I was showing Katie, who's on the call, this, and we were having a fun time just doing this on the streets of New York City. Because what it is that you are downloading codes from the universe and spreading energy. So when we were walking around the streets of New York City, we were just like doing the code language. And what you're doing is just downloading love and sprinkling it on the streets of New York City or where you're at. It's a lot of fun. And what's cool about this is that I actually got verification that this is real, because I asked the question on Joshua, and I asked him point blank, what is this hand language thing? And and they went into it. They explained that it's coding, you're downloading coding, and you can hear it from Joshua as verification. But I'll give you another proof. another proof is that I was on another call with another channeler, and this is a group call, and a person there was telling me, well, telling the group that she doesn't know why, but she's just doing things with her hand. And then, of course, you know me, I can't keep my mouth shut, so I just pop in and I go, you know, you're downloading light languages with your hand. It happens this way. There are various dialects, da, 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 da. And I'm like demonstrating it to the crowd. And then after that webinar ended, a couple of people contacted me who I don't know, and they said, while you were doing that, I saw vibrations coming out of their hand. So these are people I don't know who don't know about this, but yet they see, they're psychic. They see things. So they saw vibrations coming out of my hand while I was doing it. And they said, you know, I've never seen that before. So that one time I went to a shaman, and the shaman was doing it, but aside from that, I've never seen it before. And so they were asking me about it, but it's verification because they are people who didn't know about it, who don't know me, but yet physically saw it. So I know, you know, what I'm describing may sound impossible and a little bit ridiculous, but everything's ridiculous. But it's true, and it really works, and it's kind of verified through other people who don't have any information on it, who yet can see it. So I encourage you all that if you get the inspiration to play around with it, there are different dialects. Crystal does a fairy language dialect, and when you see her, it's like she's sprinkling little fairy dust energy. And Christy can verify that. Christy actually sees the sparks that come out of Crystal when she's doing it. She physically sees the sparks.
I've seen them. I saw Joanne doing it. She was doing it, and that's one of her practices. So some of the people on the call are, you know.
Yeah, are doing it. Yeah, Dan does it a lot. Aaron does it a lot. So trust me, there are multi-verifications that this is real. And the thing that I do that's different, because my dialect is different, is that my dialect is a dragon dialect, in that it's a sweeping of energy form, and it's you're calling in energy and you're sweeping it together, and so that's why it's a little different than crystals, but it's a dragon. I just know it's the dragon dialect. It's the dragon sweep, and it functions a little differently, and it has a different energy course, but it's you know, it's like sweeping in the energy and calling together, and you're controlling it, and you're spreading the love, and you're spreading the intention, and you're having fun. So, you know, which is always the main thing. So so why don't I just stop and open it up for any questions, and then that's going to be a great segue into Tami, because then Tami's going to talk about taking it to the next step and how to open a vortex and spin Merkabas, which is kind of the same topic. But why don't we open it up for anyone here? If you have any questions, we can answer them. No? Okay.
I don't have a question, but when you just did the dragon thing, I've done that during activations and meditations before activations. And I figured it was some kind of light language, but I didn't know what kind it was. So
yeah,
cool. I was doing dragon.
Joanne, I was seeing like little sparks come off your fingertips when you were doing it in Newton. I was like, sparks.
Yeah, I remember Jillian and I did.
You spread fairy love where you go. So you do it. It's something that you do so naturally that you that you really don't need words to describe it, but your understanding increases when you know other people see it. And
exactly. Yeah, it's kind of validating. Be like, okay, because I wondered, you know, and I'm like, well, whatever it is, it was what I felt like doing in the moment, but now I know what I was actually doing. Like you said, I've done that stance thing before, it's kind of almost, you know, like a confident power stance, and then that opens you up to inspiration, you know, and it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So it's just cool to have a kind of a name for it and have that validation of okay, I'm really doing something.
Yeah,
So
no,
thank
that's
you.
great. So do you do a sweeping hand motion? Is that kind of
Yeah, I
your
would
natural
do
thing?
kind of like a gathering, and then
Yeah,
sometimes I would do almost kind of like a this, almost like I'm trying to like contain things, and
yeah.
then something vertical, kind of like that. But it would just be, I would do all kinds of different motions. But when I saw you do that, it was like, oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's,
Because
yeah,
when you think about you're sweeping energy together, but you're also using individual hand mudras. You see, it's like a
yeah,
language. You're typing out little words and little sentences, and you're just moving the energy with all these subtle forms of information by the digits of your hands, but also the sweeping and the pace and the
Yeah, I do
various
the
density.
I
So
do the angel
yeah.
wings
yeah,
and a lot of clearing, um, different things. Crystals was really cool. When I did a healing session on her after the last retreat that she was there, and hers are synchronized, and it looks like she's synchronized swimming or something. I can't. It's really interesting, and she's
Cool.
like, it's. She said, I can't control it. It just happens, and both arms come out at a certain way and go do certain things. That was, that was, I don't know. It was probably a year and a half ago last time I saw her, so it is
the
interesting.
secret is
Yeah.
to just have fun. There's
Mhm.
nothing you can do wrong, and get over having a problem that people are going to think you're weird. Um, I mean, you don't have to do it on the streets like I do, but just have fun with it. Do it at home. Like the language or the galactic language, just let it come out of you. And if you have family, I can understand. Okay, you don't want to do this to your family right now, but do it. What I found out, Chris practice in the shower.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I practice
yeah,
in the car.
definitely.
I drive
yeah,
around and do it. I do it, when I'm alone. I don't speak light language. Mine is dragon, and it's a little unusual. So I don't do it everywhere, but it's funny. That's what comes up to my mind a lot. Like sometimes when I'm talking to people, it's like, and then I'll say English, please. It's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're not ready for that, and that's okay,
yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
well,
you
that's
can do it by yourself, and yeah, who
um,
knows, someday
I
they
mean,
will, but
Crystal is
yeah.
really woo woo, and it took her a while. It took me a while too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Just do what you feel comfortable doing.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's interesting. It just naturally comes out and you didn't even realize what it was. Although I know when I would do the thing, I felt like somehow I knew I was gathering and moving and somehow uh, rearranging so that I could allow what was coming through in the activation. I knew that was happening, but I didn't know exactly what it was called or the actual labels for it. But I didn't feel like I needed to know. Like you said, it was just like I just felt like I couldn't not do this. I had to somehow do
Move.
these
Yeah.
motions and yeah and the up and down and all this stuff. And it was like I just knew that was helping me somehow. So, but yeah, it's fun. It's cool.
It feels good. And I know for me, like doing it on the street, who am I going to see that I know? First
Yeah,
off,
exactly. Yeah.
and like I'm literally the least weird person. Like if I'm doing this, I feel I was thinking how it's like when it used to be that you couldn't talk to yourself in public, but now if you have a telephone by your face, you can definitely talk to yourself in public.
Exactly.
Like
Put your
it's like
earbuds in and yeah.
it's
Nobody
like no
nobody knows.
different.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when I'm
Yeah.
walking
I
in the
think
park, I talk, I speak all kind of language. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Mm.
And it
well,
doesn't matter if
if
they
you want to
do.
practice it and people see you on the street, they're thinking that you're practicing hand language. So it's
Yep.
Yeah.
really not that
Yeah.
Oh
weird,
my gosh,
right?
Darryl, tell them what happened. Darryl, tell them how we said exactly that, and then we passed these three girls doing sign language to each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
cool.
was crazy. They were literally doing sign language to each other. We were like, we are the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun, and I encourage those listening now and at a later time to do it, because it really is part of your inner growth, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll add in that I practice by showing my dog how to do it, right? Because I'm not going to feel self-conscious talking galactic language to my dog or doing hand language, you know. So do whatever's fun and comfortable for you, and just know that it's all instinctual and fun, and just let yourself grow.
Yeah, how fun. And I do it when I'm listening to music, you know, like I'm just kind of grooving, but I'll do all kinds of things with my hands. You know, some people are just kind of moving their body, but I find my hands doing all kinds of weird things. And it's
I'm
like,
glad
okay.
you brought that up, because I that's one of my favorite things to do now. Is I listen to music, and I do it on the streets of New York City. So you're doing it to the beat, so to speak. And you think about it, it makes sense, because everything is your intention and everything is your vibration. So if you got music in the background to help your vibration go up and intensify it with the beat,
exactly,
you're doing more energy out to the streets. So
yeah,
it's a really fun,
you're having fun.
And it adds that component of music going with the beat. It's like you're conducting an orchestra almost. So
yeah, that's what
fun.
I feel like. I feel like I'm doing something, but yeah, it's not just dancing. But yeah, you're just having such a good time dancing and listening to music, and then it just kind of pops in, and it's like, whoa, what's happening? So I don't know what it's called or what language it is, other than probably something fairyish, but you know, who knows? So.
And I hope this is helpful. But one time I was doing it, and that's how I found our new apartment. Like it was like I drove to one place and it was fine, but I just didn't get a good vibe from it. And then I started driving to the next place, and my hands started going crazy to the beat of the Taylor Swift that was playing in my car right then.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, this is the place. This is where we're supposed to live. Like, awesome.
I love that.
Nice. And people always speak with their hands.
That's
I always
fun.
have. So I think it's really just
Me
natural.
too.
I don't think people think anything of it, you know. It's just because we call it woo-woo. We're just becoming more woo-woo. It's okay.
Darryl, remember when we were in Orlando and we were sitting across from each other and our eyes were closed, and they said that we were in sync doing it. So it was really cool.
Oh, cool.
And then I like to close my eyes and just feel the energy. I don't know, you could really feel you're moving it around. It's amazing. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah. No, I had a private session with Christy, and I asked her during the last retreat when I was doing the dragon panel, she came up to me and she started imitating me for a while. And I asked her, like, just a couple of days ago, did you do that just because it was fun, or did you do that because you saw energy? And she said both. So it's really cool confirmation that, you know, it's really happening. Yeah.
And I also had an inspiration lately. I haven't done it yet. I kind of thought about it and it left and thought about it, but because I've gone on YouTube and listened to people speaking different languages just to hear the difference in the dialects. And I thought I should do that with hand language too. You know, I mean, I've been doing it with the voice, but it's like, and imitate, because I'll imitate somebody saying a light language just to see like how it feels and what it brings up. But like I can imitate the hand language too, and you know, and all that, and then one day it'll just come without me watching somebody else do it. So
that's right.
Just that practice of getting comfortable in it.
It tells you something about you. What comes naturally to you and what interests you, there's a reason. It's because that's your lineage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, if it just feels like, oh yeah, of course this feels natural to do this thing. Oh, okay, well that's my thing. So
that's the lineage.
It opens the door. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's like watching somebody do a dance, you know, routine and copying it, but it's just a light language routine. So I'm going to do that.
Excellent. Okay. Well, if there aren't any other questions on this topic, we're going to move to our main course. And Tami, thank you again for giving us a little presentation or a little lecture on opening vortexes and spinning Merkabas.
Okay.
Yay. And thank you, Darryl.
I will just have to say, I started doing the Merkaba meditation. It was really kind of unusual how it came to me. I was taking a hypnosis class, and I hit the back button on my computer, and this weird recording was there from a guy from the future, and he's saying this is the only meditation you really have to learn. And once you learn how to do this, and he suggested a specific person, and he was talking about how much the future would change between now and 2040. So it was a very unusual, like my future self sent me a message, basically, you could say. And so I learned how to do it, and I've been doing it every day for 10 years. You can, I'm going to bring up the document in just a second, but when I was doing energy work on Darryl, I saw spinning shapes and triangles all over his body. He was the first person that I ever saw that on. And I knew he was special. I had been doing this, I believe that's one of the reasons that I see so much energy, is that I've been doing the Merkaba meditation so long. So I think that's one of the reasons that I see things that other people don't see. I have a lot of visions, but it is, just go into it with fun. This document is gonna be kind of a little bit of work, or in other words, but I'm gonna go through all the steps, and then he's asked me to do a meditation. But I also want to say before I start, at the last retreat, me and Manny and Darryl did some listen to light language. We did some chanting, and I'm certain that the only reason that we were able to travel through the universe was because my Merkaba is active and spinning. So it's your soul knows how to do it. It is, it is some specific steps, but so anyway, so I'll move on to the document. I did want to say that, and it's really interesting. Let's see if this is it. Okay. Okay. So those of you that know me, I'm into magic. I'm into yoga, and I'm into all things woo-woo. So I'll just say that. And as I was working on this document, and I'll say, this is for the alien hybrids and the angels out there. I love.
We know who you are.
we know. I really know that as we activate our DNA, what is happening is, that is one thing that I see. I see other people's future version of themselves, or some DNA that's active. So I see energy in people that sometimes others don't see, and I'm pretty much convinced it's because I spin my Merkaba. So what is it? The Merkaba is a breathing technique or a meditative practice, and it's based on mystical traditions with sacred geometry. It comes from the Egyptians. So Mer means light, Ka means spirit, and Ba means body. And the Merkaba also means chariot in Hebrew. So this is your astral travel body. And so the things that are inside of this structure spin. They're tetrahedrons. So they're triangles facing up and facing down. And I have some more things in here too. It can facilitate spiritual growth, healing, and ascension. So this is how people activate and actually ascend in astral travel, or move through the quantum field, or up into the other realms, the unseen realms. So the practice is you're breathing in light. It's not just oxygen. So if you get nothing else out of this conversation today, the practice is to breathe in light, not just air. So you're going to use your imagination, but the light energy, or prana, and mudras are to activate and balance all your chakras, energy centers, and activate your crystalline body. The process is easy to learn. Once it's activated, you can spin at any time to allow more energy to flow in. So you can use your hands, you can use your words and all that. So it's sort of a written so the first thing you do is you get into a quiet space. It's a meditation. And this is what your Merkaba looks like. This is what a fully activated Merkaba looks like. And see all these geometric patterns? They're actually around your body. They're in the unseen realm. And you have a sphere of energy that's about 55 feet. So a fully activated Merkaba is large. And that's one of the reasons we like using our hand language and everything. So you're going to imagine that you release all your thoughts. I also like to imagine that God cleans my brain out. So that's one thing that I do. So you always set an intention. It could be anything. You basically can program your Merkaba and your crystalline light body with any intention that you set. You can set a command for healing, a command for activating all strands of your DNA, spiritual growth, protection, connection to source, and unconditional love. So you're always going to be focusing on feeling love in your heart and connection to source. So my intention today is just to activate your Merkaba light body, help you connect to source and your higher self, or the feeling of unity or oneness. So the technique that I learned was from a book called The Flower of Life by his name is Drunvalo Melchizedek. He changed his name. He channeled Thoth, the Atlantean. So you relax and center. You begin with a few relaxing breaths, and you focus on your breath and breathing in the light and love. So conscious breathing is a technique that involves deep breaths to a pattern. You can use the 4-4-4, or you can go higher. So it's really suggested that you do like deep, like 7-7-7, but it's hard to start there. So, you really got to tune into your intuition, and you've got to ask yourself which one is best for me. And the duration is set. So you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, and then you breathe out. So while you're visualizing or imagining that you're breathing in, you're noticing the structure around your body and the two interlocked in tetrahedrons. One points toward the sun and one points toward the earth.
Think of it like a spinning pyramid.
Right. It's a spinning pyramid. Then you're gonna create a sphere in your solar plexus, and you're gonna bring it out. So you're breathing in crystalline light. So you're imagining energy coming in from the great central sun and all the way into the earth. So you're connecting with everything in the universe, the earth and the stars or sun or the quantum field. And you can become more powerful because we're really quantum computers. That is what we are. We're quantum computers. We can totally upgrade to becoming something else. This is another way to view it. So you're breathing in light from the top of the universe all the way through the earth, and it runs all the way through all your chakras. And there are the triangles. So it's not just breathing, but it's breathing and holding it and then releasing. And your breathe, I imagine crystalline light like this is source. I kind of imagine it's like a very bright energy that comes in. So as you activate it and you continue to breathe, you imagine this beginning to spin. So the first 7 breaths are with mudras, and I'll go over that. But you create a spear in the center of your belly, and then you expand it out. And this is the spear. And I put these in because it's hard for some people to imagine that they're a being of love and light. We hear that all the time from Joshua, but what does that mean? What does it mean? So for the non-visual people, I put in the visuals so you could understand. This is what the energy body is. This is how it looks, and this is how you breathe it in. And the more that you can visualize these tetrahedrons spinning and activated, the more energy flows throughout your body.
Thank you, Tami. I mean, the visuals actually helps me a lot, and I know the stuff, so it really helps.
So
the only thing I would add is that the visuals are still a little hard because it's 3D and it's really spinning in all directions all at once. So it's hard for you to picture it moving. But it's very helpful to see that picture.
Your soul knows how to do this. But one of the things that's happened, if you're just breathing in normally, you're not putting in light and energy into the top areas of your body. You're only breathing in here. So this is one of the reasons that you may not be making as much progress as you want. Because if you're just doing shallow, regular breathing all day long, you're not bringing light and love into your crown and these upper areas. So the visuals, you know how to do this. Your soul knows how to do this. This is just a remembering. If you're on this call, you're just remembering that you can do this. So you're visualizing these tetrahedrons spinning and all this stuff. But once you really ask them to do it, it will come. So, whatever we ask in our intention is what's going to happen. So you're balancing and harmonizing the flow of energy fields around your body and within your body, because we have an aura around us, not just our physical body. And you feel a sense of alignment, peace, ease, connection, and to the higher dimensions. So this is a return to your natural state. It is your infinite connection to divine unity. It will balance your right and left brain. We really need to get a lot more into the feminine energy, and that we do that by balancing the ego, by balancing that masculine. And it's not getting rid of it. It's just remembering your heart is opening to unconditional love. Once you open your heart, it will move the flow of energy throughout your body and your aura and your connection. So it was suggested that you listen to 936. You could also do chanting or light language. So prana breathing is the Holy Trinity. It is and it's symbolized with the triangle. That's body, mind, and spirit in total balance. So the 17 breaths, and so you're imagining drawing light and energy from the universe, filling your entire being. With each exhalation, you visualize releasing the energy. Your hand mudras are for focusing on different chakras. The first one is red. So you can see the colors too. Like you can fill the triangles up with color. And each mudra, so you start with thumb and first finger, and then you move to the second one, and you're doing it with your breath. Okay, and I didn't talk about eye movements. So you can do the eye movements or not. Some people find that too difficult to do, all this breathing and eye movements and all this stuff. But as you're holding each one, you look up to the center and then you look down. So that's on the out breath. So the first breath, it's 17 breaths. The first breath is your thumb and your first finger, and you see the color red. Your second breath is thumb and second, third. So you just keep moving down, and you see the different colors. Each chakra is moving throughout your body. And then when you get to breath 8, you do the mudra of the thumb and the first 2 fingers. So these mudras are also signs and signals to your body and mind and spirit to get back into balance. And you see a tube of white energy that I showed you, and you flow it from way above all the way through your spine into your feet. Then breath 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13 are thumb and first 2 fingers together. Well, I might have typed that wrong. Okay, so you focus on love in your heart, knowing that you're loved, expanding your energy and radiating it out from the sacral chakra, which is at the belly button, to create a sphere and expand it larger and larger around the tetrahedrons. So the light begins as like a white light, and then it turns into gold at this point. Then breath 14 is the relaxation mudra, and that is you put your hands together like this and your thumbs like that. So you're telling yourself to relax even more. Your palms are up, and your connection to source is now made. So you breathe in and out and state in your mind equal speed. So then you're actually telling the tetrahedrons to begin to spin faster and faster. Then you breathe in and state 34-21. That is the signal to balance all your emotions. Breath 17 is you state 9/10 the speed of light. So this is your chariot is activated. You're fully connected to all of life, all of source, and you feel your connection to your higher self, knowing love is the way home. So they call it the +1. It's 17 breaths. You don't have to do any more. Then you can just kind of go back to relax. So if you get at breath 18, it'll be from your higher self. That could be an example of that was the angel wings, the breath, so I do that a couple of times a day. So once you start doing it, you may get messages from this meditation. So I can take you through it. So it is good to practice. So go ahead and get in a relaxed state. And our intention is to fully activate our Merkaba, our aura, and our connection to source. So you're begin to imagine. Go ahead and start taking deep breaths in. Hold it and release. Imagine the light of source is coming from above your head and going all the way into the earth. So put your thumb and first finger together. Breathe in the color red. Hold it. Do the eye movement, pulse, and release. Change fingers, thumb and second finger together. See the color orange flowing in. Hold your breath. Do the eye movement, pulse, and let it go. Thumb and third finger. Breathe in the color yellow. Hold your breath. Do the eye movement and release your breath. Thumb and fourth finger. The color green. Hold it. Feel the love in your heart expand. Pulse your eyes and breathe out. Thumb and first finger together. See the color blue. Hold your breath and relax. Pulse your eyes and breathe out. Thumb and second finger together. Breathe in the color indigo. Hold it. Pulse your eyes in and up. And relax. Breathe out. Thumb and third finger together. See the color violet. Hold it. Pulse your eyes in and up. Breathe out. Thumb and first two fingers together. See the tube of energy coming in. The light radiates in and runs all the way through your entire chakra system, from way above your head down into the earth. See, you just continue breathing. Continue breathing in more and more love and light, focusing on your heart and knowing you are loved. Each breath you take is bringing in more love and light and expanding your energy field from the great central sun of the universe all the way through the earth. And this radiant ball in the center of your sacral chakra begins to expand more and more, growing larger and larger around the tetrahedrons. Now imagine the light with each breath is turning from white into gold. Breathe in this golden love and light energy into every area of your body. See the golden light spin and surround the tetrahedrons. Now place your hands in the relaxation, hands on top of each other with your thumbs touching. You are now connected to Source. Breathe in and state in your mind equal speed, and breathe out. The tetrahedrons are now spinning. Breathe in and release and state in your mind 34:21. Balance all emotions. Breathe in and release and state in your mind 9/10 the speed of light. You are now connected to all of life, Source. Feel the connection to your higher self, knowing love is the way home. You can begin to release and relax and come back to the session with us. So it's not that difficult. It is, it's a couple of steps to learn, but with practice. So I will say, you're going to kind of ground it in, but your Merkaba is activated now. So just learn to accept that. So your Merkaba is activated, and you want to feel gratitude and thanks from your heart. So let that sink in. And it's called the Flower of Life meditation for a reason. You're bringing in more love and light into your life. And, you might want to actually ground it in this afternoon. Just drink some water. So the practice, you need to tune into yourself and have a check-in and say, what's the best practice for me? What's the best breath? It might be 666 for you. All of our bodies are different. It might be 777, but or 444 is fine. The numbers don't matter as much as doing what feels good to your body. And I say do it at least once a week for a while. It's recommended that you do it for about 6 months. So whatever practice, you tune in and ask yourself, what is the best practice? I do it every day, but I love it. It's just who I am. I'm such a woo-woo nerd. I just fell in love with it. And, you can find some guided meditations. It's not necessary. What is necessary is for you to know that you're breathing in love and light, and to focus on love and feeling the connection with Source and your higher self. That is it's a personal practice. It will bring you toward enlightenment the more you do it. So that's all I'm going to say. My suggestion is you tune in and ask yourself, what do I need to do? It is it is a powerful tool for spiritual development, energy balancing. You can balance the masculine and feminine and your connection to your higher self, or as with any spiritual practice love and understanding and openness. So don't have high expectations. Sometimes it takes people a year to feel the energy spinning. Sometimes it takes people one time. It depends on your level and where you're at. And then, this is how I think I told a couple of them before the call. I had this, as soon as Darryl asked me to do this, I had this, and Annika come in and tell me to put some visuals in, and she actually helped me do it. She was like, do this. I've been playing with AI, but she charged all these so that you see that there are energy gates, and so that that you can visualize this and begin to understand that you'll begin to see once you're spinning and you use it, your some of these things are going to come online. So opening a portal or a stargate or a vortex, the you activate your Merkaba is number one. And once it's activated, you can travel, you can do some of this stuff, and you know how to do it. You are the magic, and it is a magic practice. So the spirit guide is telling me that, you know, ancient symbols, intention, and really focusing on balancing your emotions and your feminine mind, your creativity. This is what's going to bring about, you know, change within you. And you'll begin to notice and feel more energy, because I can tell you, I feel more energy. I could feel the trees talking to me this morning. A couple of days ago, I walked outside and it looked like Christmas. The trees were lighting up. I think it was fairies. I called it fairy love. So you will begin to feel your connection. It's a way to connect to everything. You'll begin to feel the connection with the trees and the animals and the birds and people. So you, once your Merkaba is spinning, you can open vortexes. And this is how I do it. This is kind of a brief thing today. But so there are portals everywhere and dimensions. And although we can't see them, once we move into fourth density, we'll begin to see portals and we'll begin to see more things with our physical eyes. And I've seen portals open. I see energy coming when I open up a portal or a gate. I talked a little bit about when we were together, me and Darryl, and we traveled through the universe. And I don't think it was my imagination. I have a great imagination, but it was incredible. And we just went through colors and water, and we turned into one. And there were three of us there, but we were one person for a little while, traveling the universe together. It was really incredible. So how I do it, and I've opened up energy portals. I do it alone, but I enjoy doing it in groups of three. There's a lot of power in groups of three. So I was at Christy's house the other day, and we did an abundance portal. So financial abundance. And a giant key came in there. It was three of us. It was the Ankh. So, you know, and the Ankh symbolizes eternal life, and it is, you know, it's a powerful symbol. And I see symbols when I'm doing energy work on people, and you know, these are keys. So my guides say I open portals of love everywhere I go. And that's what you do too, Darryl. You're opening portals of love. And you know, I think that's one of our major gifts, kindness and just being loving. And we grid in love. So you're on your trip, you know, here's the thing, you just set an intention, just like the Merkaba. You open up a vortex or stargate, because there are stargates at the places you're going. So you can travel throughout the universe. You just make sure it's an intention that's aligned to your highest good. You choose the space. You might use tools, incense, sage, or other things. Sacred symbols, crystals.
Yeah, I'm sure the channeler that we're going to in the Great Pyramid is going to have all that set up. So
yeah. So I'm just saying, this is how you can do a ceremony at home or anywhere. And you know, I like doing it with groups of three. It symbolizes the Holy Trinity. You can open up even more energy flowing with a group of three. And you know, so anyway, I've done them for all different kinds of things, for healing, for love, for more fun, and it's just a magical practice. So in your mind's eye, you just create a circle or a protective space. You visualize a white circle around you or energy flowing in. You call it, if you feel you need protection, you call in angels or spirit guides. Archangel Michael is one. You raise your energy by doing deep breathing, chanting. You can dance, drum, use light language, activate your Merkaba. You visualize the Vorgate, the Stargate or Vortex, and you close your eyes and you go through it. You know, one way, you know, that you can do it is like when you're doing these activations. So this is a sigil I created for lifting the veil. So you imagine you're the Merkaba spinning and you're walking through this. But a sigil is just a tool that you use. And it's just a magical symbol for you to understand. So there's just ancient symbols in here and the Merkaba. So if you imagine that this is you and you're in the center of it, then you could just walk through it. So chanting, we were chanting Om when we were together, when we opened up that energy gate or portal. And well, see, Darryl can open stargates, so that's why I use stargates, because he's the ambassador. He can take you out into the universe. So we use words of power. So you might just say something like, I call on the power of the great Lord of the universe, Adonai, Yohe Valhe, ascended masters, angels, spirit guides, open the vortex or stargate, part the veil, and let the vortex now prevail. So we chanted Om, and that is one of my favorite things to do. It's just to chant Om. You'll get in a state of oneness, and then you can travel anywhere. You can do anything with this.
And you know what I love about Om? It's so easy. Anyone can do it, and you can do it on your first try. It's so easy to do, and it takes you somewhere. But every single one of us can do it right now, even though we've never done it before. It's very easy to do. So that's what I love about Oming.
Yeah,
it's called toning.
Yeah, you can do it while you're doing a meditation, and it'll take you places. It'll take you in the void, and then you'll go somewhere. So you just feel it, and then you close it out when you're done. If you receive any messages, visions, images, you just trust your intuition and let it happen, let it flow. And then you close it. You just might say some words like, I close the vortex with gratitude, and feel that gratitude in your heart and ground yourself. You might eat or drink some water, and just imagine it dissolving. So I like to journal about my experiences and then integrate what it is. So here is my little version of what happened when we were together, Darryl.
Okay.
It was like we went through that gate and then we just went off into space. And it is not that easy to describe it, but it was really incredible.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun too.
It is. It's fun. It's not serious. It is fun. And everybody can do it. It's really easy. I tried to put it into words, so that was the easiest way that I could. And then I did a couple of things. We've talked a little bit about light language. There's spoken, written. I started writing it first. I'll say that. And using your hand language. And then there's art and digital. So you can use, and some might call sigils a form of light language too. And then there's telepathic. We use our eyes. We can we can send people light language with our eyes too. So, you know, in some ways, some things that you might want to use light language for is healing, meditation, channeling, and personal transformation. Because I can tell you, when I was working on this, a spirit guide came in, and she kept coming in for about a week. It's been nonstop, and it was like, oh, well, add this or add that. She just said, add visual images, tell them, you know, about this. And I mean, that's pretty much what I had to say about it. And I can share this document with you, Darryl.
Okay, and I'll send it out to folks. So I just want to say, Tami, this is incredible. I mean, thank you for all your hard work and for this product, because I'm going to watch this video over and over again and do the steps, because it's just so much information here, and it's great the way you outline it. And I'm going to look at the references, but just kind of hearing you walk us through meditation, I think I need that to practice, because I wouldn't be able to do that without you walking it through on the meditation. So I'm going to be listening to this again while I'm practicing. So this is really, really terrific, and thank you for all your hard work.
Well, it was actually kind of fun putting it together, because I had to get my thoughts together, and it created a space for one of my new gurus. She says she's me from the future, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, who are you? And she's like, oh, it's me from the future. But she's a very loving mother energy, and she was, you know, very helpful. But, you know, it's all the things we're doing. It's just kind of putting words around it. Some of us are already doing a lot of this. Like Darryl, you know how to, I can tell that your Merkabas are already spinning when I met you. So, you know, you just need to remember it.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
But I'll put
thank you so much.
I'm going to put it on my channel, and I will, I mean, I appreciate you for spreading love and light, and for going to the Great Pyramids and Egypt. I can't wait to hear about this.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely report back to folks. So let's see if anyone here has any questions. Otherwise, we're going to close it out and just say, Tami, we love you so much. Thank you for everything you do. You are just fantastic.
Yes, Tami, this was excellent. Thank you so much. You too, Darryl. Thank you. It was wonderful.
Yes, thank you so much.
Love you guys.
Yes, ditto.
Okay.
Love both of you.
Love you
Love and
guys.
light. Just breathe in light. Now you're light beings, and now you understand it. Okay. You guys.
All right. Goodbye,
Love everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.